relaxation, excitement, relaxation, excitement, productivity. I'm off of work. I'm on work. Right. Oh, it's a nice little pick-me-up, little lift in the different part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to check that out. Again, the name is...
That is coffee.
I just want to remind everyone, it's not compensated us for discussing this. Neither has Google or Android or Google. No, we do love Google Forms, man. If they would throw me a nickel, I'd talk about them a lot more. Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier. I have purchased the Pixel 9. I have a problem, Andrew. I have a big problem.
I've got a Pixel 6a.
Yeah.
This is my last OS update.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to hold out till the 10.
Yeah.
But I got all these butterflies in my stomach about the 9, honestly. It looks really good. Everyone that's had it is saying that it's like
it's always
stellar.
Better. It's always better. It's just not, I don't know, not worth the money. It's never worth the money. Unfortunately, while it's like by design probably, when I went to Madison, my 7, the backup camera that we used, that camera right there, we've got a 6 and a 7 doing our primary video for this podcast. And the 7 has a crack in it. It
in
just,
the screen?
Yeah, the screen just started cracking. And I looked, and you can still get some money for a trade-in, so I'm like, screw it. Because like in the past, you couldn't get any money for a trade-in.
Oh, if it was cracked?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I mean,
screw it.
that would be almost, depending on the amount, worth getting fixed and then trading it in. I don't know. I mean, they've got great trade-ins right now,
Right.
and they end tomorrow.
Yeah, that was the other reason.
Yeah.
Usually they've kind of moved this up. Usually it's right around GABF that I'm struggling with. Should I get it? Should I not get it? But I guess GABF moves around a little bit. But
Next year, I'm probably gonna go ahead and jump in on that 10. I mean, I had my 4 backup here for the camera yesterday
yeah,
that we didn't use, and then I had my 6A.
yeah,
One thing that I really wish I had is wireless charging. That really,
yeah. Well, the 9 does not have QI2. It has QI,
Right.
but not
Right.
QI2. So, do I know exactly what that means? Bigger, better, more.
it doesn't
guess,
have
but-
the embedded magnets.
Oh well, I have the cases that have that, but
Yeah.
I have to wait on the case. So then I'm going to be, I think you're in that limbo period where we're waiting for your case to arrive for your phone. It's not good. Could be bad. Could be bad.
Well, here's how I always do it. So, for example, I got Bonnie I got her a 7 for her birthday last year.
Right.
I don't know. I just order a case on Amazon. A freaking $5 clear plastic one.
Right.
That's going to arrive at the same time as the phone with a couple of screen protectors so that as soon as they get there, they're both ready to
Right.
get put on.
Maybe I should just put it in my, I should just, what is it? The Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
I should just seal it in,
Don't do that.
not a Ziploc. What am I
Yeah.
talking about? For sous videing,
Oh, yeah.
the vacuum seal bag.
It makes it, I mean, as long as it's got QI charging, I guess you're good. It might have some heat dissipation issues, but whatever.
It might not
I don't
work
know.
the screen itself. But.
I don't know.
What's sort of this kind of leads me to the question, or what people might ask: why do we have all this? What is it? What kind of tech supports what we do? Like, right? So obviously, if we're doing a podcast, it's a money pit.
Well,
I think we have the audio solved. I don't
know if it has to be a money pit. It's just that you get more and more.
Yeah,
You get more aspirational every single video, and you're like, oh, I can do this, and it'll be better if I do that. And
it's true. I mean, it's a hobby. I go kind of all in, you know? I mean, if it wasn't that, if I didn't have that kind of personality, I probably would have never homebrewed.
Right, absolutely.
I would have been like, this pot sucks. I guess I can't brew anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so you have that a little bit.
Yeah.
But
camping.
I've decided to go with the full, you know, spec'd out PC. I haven't gone Apple for other reasons, which I don't know if anyone cares, but I've gone with the full PC because now it's essential. It wasn't before when I started the job, but if you're doing video editing, you kind of got to do that,
right?
Unless you somehow can leverage this online suite of products online. But you've used a Chromebook, which I've flirted with that. I had one. I actually bought one for the Guild so we could do presentations. At that time, it was a lot more dicey to get a PowerPoint presentation running on those Chromebooks, but you seem to have no problem.
Yeah, I do everything on it, but I do not edit video. I wouldn't even want to think about doing that.
No, so it's like the choice that most people would take.
And my Chromebook is 4.5 years old. Showing its age a little bit. I did put a new battery in it a couple weeks ago, but that was like literally $35 for a battery.
Yeah.
And open it up, pop it in, close it back up, done.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just used to being in an environment when I was in software where we were just getting all the new stuff every year, no matter what, we would get something new.
Yeah.
Or someone would come in with something, and sometimes we actually get some free stuff. So yeah, that's what I mean. But you know, I'm thinking as we get into legislative season that I might look at a tablet. I don't know. I've always felt like tablets were more passive. You are not creating on a tablet. You are consuming information. You are not creating.
I don't know, man. So the other thing I have is a Google Slate.
Yeah.
You ever hear that? No one has. It was basically Google's 9-month experiment on how to have an iPad.
Right.
And 9 months is not a good sign, but it works great.
Right.
It's got a powerful processor. And I didn't even get like the high spec one. It connects to everything with Bluetooth, and I mean it's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. But
so in terms of the job, though, I mean, you need a phone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do social media on the phone. So whatever that means. I mean, I don't think there's a phone that doesn't do that, but
I don't do my social media on the phone. I'm terrible at it.
Oh, you have to be comfortable with whatever you're using.
Yeah.
Earbuds.
Earbuds.
Yeah, earbuds are crazy necessary. I took a call with somebody in an adjacent industry, and they were in a loud room and they didn't have earbuds, and I'm like, this is unworkable.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
My earbuds that you gave me are awesome. They're the Pro 7 Pro. They're the JBL.
No, they're the
sound?
Jabra. Yeah.
Anyways, they're amazing. I will never fly without them again.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at some other ones though, because there's some that kind of sit in your ear but don't do the noise canceling. But those are more designed for you want to be present and you can hear people better. Because definitely there's hear through on those that we have, but it's a little bit muted. Your natural ear opening is left, open, and it just has targeted little speakers that hit your eardrum. But it can't do noise canceling. I'm thinking about getting those just for riding my bike or
Bro,
what?
get the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I have.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
Yeah. Well, I have sunglasses, and I find myself I don't wear them as much as I should. I have to get back in the habit. Like,
Well, they do podcasts, they do phone calls,
Yeah.
very quiet, very good.
yeah,
They take pictures if you want to.
yeah.
They have your AI on the face.
So you should probably explain what advantage you have of that. What the use case is for you as a deputy director of the
Right. It's the reason I got it was for festivals, because when we're at festivals, we're working and we don't really.
You want to be present, and you don't want to be taken out of the moment to
Get your phone out of your pocket,
Right.
open it up, unlock it, point it at a thing, open the camera, all that stuff.
Right.
You just have them on your face and you click a button and it's your picture's taken.
also deciding whether you can put up with people posing or not posing. Like often I would like in a candid or a natural photo. I don't, it's like we're not trying to create the impression that anytime anyone comes up to a booth, everyone's like,
Yeah.
hey, here I am.
Right.
Cool. Like we want to see people working. We want to see, for the non-B-roll part, we want to see if there are clusters of people in an area that we hadn't really planned. And we want to look at where the crowds are and all that stuff, which, those drone shots used to be able to do was
Right.
were great.
Yeah.
Salt River Fields does drone shots, and it's just great for. We showed a drone shot of when we had the wrestling and when we didn't, and people were concerned that it was taking people too far away from, but it really wasn't.
Well, the other thing about that is it lasted all day. So there's so much wrestling you want to watch, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had plenty of opportunities. And
Yeah.
that was a great part.
Yeah, but we wanted to show the coverage. It wasn't like literally draining everyone from. It wasn't like they pulled a bathtub plug and everything just went swirling down to that area. But it was clustered, and people would hang back so they could still enjoy beers from the other things. And we showed the movement. I think that's the most important part. Snapshot is
Right.
one thing, but showing the movement is another. So I just read that the federal government might be clamping down on some of these drone manufacturers for some reason because they're tied to the Chinese government. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, DJI, the number one drone manufacturer that's got 95% of the semi-pro / upscale drone, other than toys, a $25 toy doesn't count.
Right.
So DJI is a Chinese company, and every Chinese company has to be able to give whatever data the government wants to them.
Yeah.
And that is the concern.
Yeah.
DJI doesn't work with the government. It's not owned by the government, but
This is the TikTok problem.
yeah, exactly. So they're working on that. And the problem with taking DJI drones off the market is they are the most accessible and good working drones out there. So police departments
Right.
use all DJI drones.
Right.
Education,
Yeah.
all DJI. And if you're a government entity and now you
Yeah.
can't use your DJI, you have to go buy something else that's made in America and costs 10 times as much. I'm not even kidding. Something that's $3,000 from DJI or 300 from DJI is $3,000 from an American manufacturer.
Right.
So that would just reduce the ability to have people learning how to code, because a lot of people use drones as a physical manifestation of some coding projects.
Right.
And kids love it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look, I made it go up and circle around and go to the top of the tree and come back, all with a program I programmed,
Right.
coded.
For the record, we do once in a while get people say, I got a drone. I want to drone I want to take, can you explain why we can't always do that?
Yeah, they have to have a license.
Yeah.
And so, first off, a license is not difficult to get, not expensive to get, but it takes some studying and you have to take it
It's related to
in a time limit.
FAA.
Right. And there are lots of spaces that are no-fly zones over, like for us, the stadium. That's
Yeah.
a no-fly zone. You can't fly a drone there. Your DJI will not take off. In the park by my house, I live close to a small municipal airport. If I go to one end of the park,
Yeah.
I can take off, start flying, and as soon as I hit that wall, it won't move.
Yeah.
It just won't go. It's the craziest thing. You're going full speed, and all of a sudden it stops like it hit a wall and just
Right.
won't go.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a thing. You can get exemptions, you can apply for things, but again, most of the people that are reaching out to us aren't doing that. They don't.
No.
They just think I have a drone and I have fun with it,
Right.
and I want to do a good thing and help you out. Which
Right.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not going to work. And you can't fly over people
Yeah.
for sure. They
Yeah.
have some that have parachutes built into the drone
Right.
that are certified for flying over people. And it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just something that we hadn't had to consider before, and
Yeah.
so I'm glad you have that.
Technology of festivals.
Yeah.
Let's go back to my Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. My number one use for them is listening to podcasts.
I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, if you just are out somewhere and you're walking around, sitting around, and you want to listen to a podcast, you put them on. No one knows you're listening to a podcast, which can be good, can be bad. Sometimes
Right.
you want to be left alone, but you just tap the side and it pauses if someone starts talking to you, and you can talk to them in a normal conversation.
Right.
And they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And you can look at something and say, what is that?
Right.
Look and tell me what that is. And it'll tell you, like, that is the Arizona Historical Society Museum.
Right.
It's amazing.
So that's what, $300 to $500, depending on what kind of lenses you want to put in it.
Nah, it's $300 for standard ones. You can, yeah, I mean, if you get prescription lenses, it's a whole different side gig, but they're Luxottica, and, you know, monopolies suck. So they try and limit who can put new lenses in and require it to be one of their authorized vendors and all that. And
Right. Well, the technique to get a lens in a regular pair of sunglasses is to heat warm water. I don't think your glasses would
Right.
really appreciate being submerged in warm water.
yeah,
Probably-
so I mean, they can
So
use a heat gun, but it's
Yeah.
still, I don't know. I literally want to get a second pair that are clear because
Yeah.
I want to wear them all the time.
So, but the Ray-Bans currently are tied to Meta.
Yes.
That's the other part that I'd live with it, but that kind of upsets me a little bit that it has to be tied to a service like that. Although,
there are other ones. There's,
Yeah.
I mean,
but they're not Ray-Bans. See, this is
they're not Ray-Bans, and they look like weirdo glasses.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You
and
cannot. I mean, Ray-Bans and aviators are like the two classic looks.
yeah,
right.
and no one knows it's different from any other Ray-Ban.
You're not going to put that technology in aviators at this point because
That would be a little stretch.
Yeah,
maybe you have a cord coming out the back and
Yeah.
clip something, but
Yeah.
that would suck. You can't get a camera on those.
no. We have to wait for Elon's brain chip.
Okay. How long do you have to wait?
I'm not waiting.
I'm not doing it.
There's no wait. It's just not happening.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, hey, this has been Tech Talk
Yeah.
with
No,
Rob and Andrew.
Sometimes I have this question and it leads to other questions.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure we've exhausted that. It's a laptop, phone, earbuds.
A camera of some sort. I
Yeah.
mean, even your phone camera, if you just have, like, you have your 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
35 millimeter. It's not what it is.
No, it's not.
I'm so old.
No. You're
Yeah, your digital camera.
Yeah.
But even a point and shoot is
Yeah.
better than trying to use your phone for everything.
Yeah.
Also, battery life.
Yeah. I used to pal around with Dominic Armato, the food critic, formerly with a bunch of places, currently with New Times, running maybe a monthly column. He used to have a point and shoot for all of his publication stuff.
Yeah.
And he also knew, by the way, how to use the graphs to change your RGB and brightness in a it's just like a line, and you kind of
right.
and he just improved the quality of his photos. I mean, you can do that on your phone. You can do that with something like Adobe or whatever. But he found the value of having it out, and then that means he was working, too. So there's all
Right.
kinds of signals. When I have my earbuds in, sometimes I want people to know I have my earbuds in, and hey, whether I'm on the phone or not, or listen to a podcast. But like if I am interrupted, and I do welcome the interruption, I generally do, I will actually take them out, even though I could hit the hear through.
Yeah.
I actually take them out as a courtesy. So I'm with you now.
Right.
So there are all kinds of little things like that. But obviously navigation, but that's usually in your phone. I used to have a dedicated Garmin. You remember those days? And then
They still sell a lot
know.
of them, especially to overlanding camping communities, because
Yeah.
you're off grid and they want a built-in map. And even though you can download maps on your phone,
Yeah.
the Garmin's and the TomToms,
Yeah.
they're still better than what's on your phone
Yeah.
if you're willing to put up with
And
what they are.
and pay for the subscription and download the software, which is
Yep.
not always, it's kind of janky.
Not convenient, but
I just don't see very many. If you're getting in the beer industry today, unless you're doing unless you actually are doing a lot of routing and stuff like that, I just don't see anyone. I haven't seen anybody in the beer industry with one on their dash.
yeah, no.
They obviously have them in
Unnecessary.
the consoles now. With the radios are getting better. I mean, do you remember? I remember having to take my whole radio out.
Yeah.
But
When I had a convertible Bug,
you're right. When they
I take out the radio.
when they went to 3 high
DINs.
it just no one steals them anymore. Because
The technology is so inexpensive that it's just not worth. And
No.
also all the custom ones.
yeah.
Like in my car, if you took my radio out of my car, it could only go in the same car.
Mhm.
Like it's such a you can't.
I know.
And also mine sucks ass.
Yeah, I retrofitted one aftermarket one only because in a Jeep, just shit breaks.
Right.
It just does. Mostly because the top is open a lot and you're getting a lot of dust in there, and so I had to replace it. So, but you can tell. I mean, you can push on it; it moves around. The kits they give you aren't all that great. The
Yeah.
fit kits. So, and Jeep is super post purchase accessory, heavy
Culture. Yeah.
So not good, not great. Is that it? Phones. We use our watches. What do we like about them?
Oh, I hate my watch.
Oh.
I am going to my office is set up in my son's old room from when he was a kid.
Right.
On the windowsill,
Yeah.
the blinds are down. I never raise them. They're always closed. Well, I was doing some stuff and he had an old Casio black band with white face with a second hand that clicks around, and I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm probably going to move over to that because this thing is just frustrating. It doesn't do the notifications when it needs to. It does other notifications I don't want.
I've been on the Pixel 2. They have a Pixel 3. I have no reason to change. The biggest thing that watches didn't do is you cancel a notification on here, it was still on your phone, or you cancel it on your phone, it was not on your watch. These things sync up pretty well.
This one does too. If there's a notification, you can click it, and then it says Johan from Phoenix Mag, and it includes how many categories there's going to be. I can click mark as red, and it's marked on my phone as red
Yeah,
too.
but that the previous versions never did that. So
Okay.
once it did that, I was like, all right, this is good technology moving forward. Because
I had a Pebble.
yeah,
Even on that, I think it marked it as red.
yeah, but
And
it's,
this one is a Charge 6.
it's not necessarily the watchmaker. It's the changing phone updates, and
Right.
us being on Android platforms, we're more susceptible. You get less of that noise with Apple. I will freely admit that, but
Fitbit is a Google company, so they integrate pretty well.
yeah. So, but I like it because I could be in a meeting and I can sort of when I got a text, okay, I can see who it is and if it's important or not. And lately you and I have put our phones on Do Not Disturb a lot. I've noticed. I don't know what it is. All of a sudden mine
Has been on Do Not Disturb for 7 years. I'm not kidding. It never, ever makes noise.
Yeah. So that's where it's critical.
That's why the watch notifications are important. I would have to turn on my ringer to do that. And
so when we took our group photo at the thing, I put it on timer, but I could have put it on my watch.
right.
And it was easier than I thought because I did those at the Grand Canyon. I was like, wow, what am I doing there? What am I running towards the edge of the Grand Canyon to get in a photo? That seems a little bit weird. Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah. Oh,
These hubs.
Yeah, USB-C multi-port hub.
So your laptop has to be able to support video out the USB-C and charging through the USB-C. But I think when you have that kind of piece of equipment, it opens up a lot of things. First of all, you don't have to use your brick charger. If you have that USB-C, you can use a USB-C cord and a plug-in charger. Now you have to get the right
Make sure that your
wattage and
dongle
voltage.
is PD.
Yeah. So, well, this is just a pass through, but the actual thing that powers your device is usually, like about the size of a deck of cards or something like that. And you can get various wattages. You just have to make sure that it supports your laptop. But like it just so you can use the same charger for your phone, for your watch, for your laptop. It's very liberating, and to have a couple or three around the house is inexpensive. You have to buy the OEM power supply for your laptop. You're gonna pay $60, $80, $100 at a pop, and they're just unwieldy, and they only do one thing.
And yeah, I mean,
so you get the hub, and it gives you extra ports. And should your monitor not support USB, you can either get HDMI or whatever the other standard is, and you got your card slots if you use cameras and stuff. So sometimes I'll put a network port in and some other things, analog audio out. So you can get these as cheaply as $25, but for the ones I have at home, it's like $100.
Yeah, you have to see exactly what their features are. So a lot of them won't do the pass through on the power, so you'd have to plug in a different USB-C for your power, or they don't have the audio jack, or they don't have the HDMI jack, or they don't have the card reader.
Yeah.
There's one over here that's an HDMI and 3 USB ports, and that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all you need.
Yeah, yeah. But in terms of being able to work remotely, different laptop situations like home versus work versus, you could literally just plug into a TV at a hotel if you wanted to.
And we both have portable monitors that are powered by the computer.
Yeah, I bought one for like $79 or something like that during Black Friday or whatever it was, or no, Prime Day. I don't use it that much.
I use mine all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a permanent one. I don't use my portable one.
Yeah, and I don't have a permanent one.
The thought was for video production, if we had notes on it, we both could look at, but we haven't got ahead of the production thing in a long time, so it wouldn't make sense. But anything else? Anything else?
Let's see. I just got a message. Sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. So, but if we're doing podcasting, that's a whole nother thing, and I'm not going to get
That's
into
a whole
it.
nother thing.
Right. But
That's a whole nother thing.
So, watch, earbuds, phone,
Computer.
suitable laptop, things to let you network in your home if you want to, or work remotely.
You know what surprises me is how they still sell hotspots. Like, whose phone doesn't work as a hotspot?
Yeah.
Do hotspots work better than a phone?
Well, again, I think it's to the single use thing. I mean, in that if it gets super hot, it's only doing one thing. If your phone gets super hot and you're taking photos with it, I guess. Actually, why did I look? I had a look at it again because lately I've been following these tech blogs and people are pushing them, and I don't know if they're pushing them because they're getting them for free and they like reviewing them and all that stuff.
I guess if you have a cell plan that limits your hotspot data or something like that, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
my plan is so old they never thought of it.
If you're working with a team
invented
of
it.
social media influencers, maybe that's in your bag because you're providing.
You've got multiple people, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So not a hotspot.
No. My wife has. I used to have when I worked a desk job. I used to have a coffee warmer. That plugged into the USB port. She has one that they're battery equipped, so they last a little longer. But this vacuum thing is all I need. If it's cold, I'm not drinking fast.
Speaking of beverages,
yes,
let's bring out a little special treat that I brought for you.
Oh, can we take a break and then we can pour that?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's
Awesome.
break.
Bauman.
How you doing, man?
You had a surprise for me. We didn't
do.
tease it.
No.
But we'll just, are we going to do that?
We're gonna do that
Right
right
now.
now. So
Ooh, mystery bottle.
I was over at
He's produced a stainless steel bottle shaped is a beverage container.
water bottle. they
Water
would
bottle.
say.
Oh yeah.
Insulated water bottle.
Okay.
Yes. Ooh. I was over at Santan a couple days ago, and one of the brewers. I usually get there right when they're finishing up. Stop in, say
Right.
hi, talk to the guys. It's good. Anthony sometimes will come out, or Gabe will come over, and
Hey, Andrew. Is that
pretty
that's a
close.
yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good to see you, brother.
And one of the brewers said he stopped by his favorite coffee shop the other day and found out they had a hopped cold brew coffee on draft.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me grab the.
Do you have the
I'll
particulars?
tell you
Are we-
what.
are we-
You pour.
Yeah. I will.
And I do have the particulars while I'm looking up the name of the coffee shop because I don't really go to coffee shops.
Right. Right. So this is the inverse of my favorite beverage, which is a coffee
A
IPA
blonde
or
coffee.
or a coffee IPA or
Yeah.
a coffee pale because aroma and hops and the beer looks like a beer. The coffee does not discolor the beer to a appreciable level. It does not suggest coffee at all. So it is whatever the color of the beer is. And it has the aroma of coffee, which can be a bitter aroma, but it's pleasant and it like hits your brain. And I'm smelling coffee right now. I'm drinking coffee also, hot coffee. So coffee,
Yeah.
coffee. But so the idea is like, oh, it looks like a beer, but no, it smells like coffee.
Right.
Relaxation, excitement, excitement, productivity. I'm off of work. I'm on work.
Creativity and productivity together, we would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that is an argument
Yeah.
that people make.
I
about
make that
certain
argument. Yeah,
Mind-altering substances in
That's what I
moderation
do,
at certain
yes.
particular times.
for sure.
So this is coffee that has the impression somewhere in here, hopefully, of beer through hops.
So the hops that are in here are Southern Cross, Galena, and Simcoe. Each time they do it, they use different hops.
Pouring it
apparently.
like it's beer.
And they
I'm
basically
pouring it like carefully, like as
Yeah.
if it's gonna
Well, it's
foam
cold.
Yeah.
It's they take the coffee, they put the hops in the corny keg,
Right.
and then they take them out after however long.
Who is this and why is this not originating from our breweries, especially the ones who have a
Yeah.
coffee background?
And we have, this isn't brand new. People have been doing this.
Really? I've never seen it.
Sure.
I've never seen it.
Not commercially, but homebrewers have done it for a long time, right?
I haven't been a home brewer in that era. Let's put it that way.
Well, imagine you have a press
Yeah.
coffee and they
French
would-
press. Yeah.
and people would take the French press, put beer in with different hops, right?
Yeah.
People also do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
with coffee and put hops in the bottom.
Well, no, I have those items in my very house.
You sure do. It's going to be amazing, the experiments you're going to see.
Unfortunately, I just have whole hops, probably from 2015.
Yeah,
in a
I wouldn't
freezer
think
bag.
you want to use pellets, though. I'd think
Yeah.
you'd want to use whole cone. I don't know. Grind Time Coffee at Warner and McQueen is where I found this. So it's just a half mile away from that Santan location. It's conveniently on my way here.
I used to live over there back in the day. Yeah. I moved there and left right before they opened Santan. I'm not getting a lot of hops.
I don't get hops. It's good cold coffee, though.
Oh, I smell hops. No, it is good cold brew. Like there is a bad type of cold brew, and this is not it.
It's mild and not bitter at all, and it's tasty.
Right. This seems to be designed as a cold brew versus some of them that are just, I don't know, like
Yes.
indiscriminately just throwing coffee into cold water.
So I'd say it has some kind of little bit of fruity character. Maybe that's the coffee. Maybe it's enhanced by some of the hops.
I think you just have to go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting a fruitiness there, but that might also be the beans.
Right. I would say that since they use different hops and I would guess different procedures, I'm going to have to stop by there rather often to check it out.
Yeah.
And it's $5. It's not stupid expensive or anything.
Right. Oh, it's a nice little pick-me-up, little lift in the different part of the day. I'm going to have to check that out. Again, the name is
That is Grind Time Coffee.
Grind Time. I just want to remind everyone, Grind Time has not compensated us for discussing this. Neither has Google or Android. Or Google. No, we do love Google Forms, man. If they would throw me a nickel, I'd talk about them a lot more.
The guild runs on Google Forms. Yeah, I bought a sticker, but it's still in the car.
Oh, okay.
Grind Time Coffee.
Grind Time. So I think that I would like to find a very distinctive, probably old school hop, like a Fuggle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something that really screams hops.
Sure.
Cascade, any of the C's.
And
right?
load the heck up out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Go over the top. I mean, come on.
If you're getting a hoppy coffee beer, you should,
Yeah.
or hoppy coffee, you probably just want to get a little more. But
as
anyways,
we
that's
know-
a surprise.
Because as we know, the pendulum has to swing. You have to take the extreme,
Extreme, and then-
and things bring back the center.
Yes.
This goes back to the discussion about Pliny. It's like that was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it
And
is
the hop
so
wars.
different than everything else. But when you have it after years of having tremendous beers, it's like this is still a very fine beer.
Remember the IBU battles
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
mid 2000s?
with the 1,000 IBU.
I got all the
Who was
IBUs.
that? It was McKellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we were putting beer in stuffed animals.
They were. I don't think we were, but they were.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's those Americans. They're crazy. They put anything in beer. Like, have
17
you heard about these
pounds
other-
of hops per barrel. I have heard brewers talk about on podcasts.
Yeah. What is Wally from Wren House?
I just don't know.
It's a ridiculous amount too.
I just don't know how you get any
They get no yield.
yield off of that, like at all. Like then you squeeze them out. I don't know. I don't
Well,
understand.
do you know about the what is it? The celebration drippings or whatever it's called, or
Oh.
Sierra Nevada, their East Coast.
Asheville Brewery.
They found that when they pulled the hop bags out of their dry hopping situation, they just let them. They didn't just discard them. They pressed them out, and that extra liquid in a giant batch yielded enough to make a few kegs of holiday drippings, or what do they call it? Celebrator drip. And like you can only get it there, and like there's no telling. There's no like bat signal or anything. John Hall talked about it.
I would like to fly out there just for that.
Yeah.
Alert. It's
Yeah.
on. Let's go.
Yeah. So
Man, that's
if anyone
cool.
has a line on that,
If anyone has a line on that,
yeah.
drop it.
Yes. But you got to go over the top. You got to bring as many people into the tent as possible, and then
Right.
things can swing back. The same thing with sours, right? Man, take the enamel off your teeth. That was the goal.
Yeah, no, God,
That was the
I
goal.
hated that.
But now it's subtlety. And then discovering the flavors of Brett in things that already had Brett, but you didn't understand that's what it was. That kind of thing. Those kind of pendulum swings. And like, right now we're in a pendulum swing with team beer in general. So
Yeah, and let's lager.
yeah, you'll come around.
Everyone lager. No, I don't mind
Maybe
it.
we should
Sometimes I enjoy them.
Maybe we should contact our hop people and get some. We can dose our own coffees.
This is a good idea. We should give it a shot.
Yeah,
New experiment.
right. We'll get a water.
I don't know
bottle.
if I can make the cold brew as smooth and delicious as this, though.
Well, we'd still buy this, but we
Yeah. Do our own little French press.
drop it. No, just boop. Just a little droplet.
Oh, I have plenty of those.
Oh yeah.
I have plenty of hop extracts in
All
my
right.
house. I use it a lot.
All right. So, wow.
All
This
right,
is
Rob.
distraction after distraction.
We've
What do
gone
we actually have to
from
talk to? about?
electronics unplanned review
Uh-huh.
and now into cold brew coffee and French
Right.
pressing
And I'm-
hops.
I'm super animated geek now. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
This is like coffee. Yeah, it keeps me going. This is a good little
Yeah.
hot cold.
I haven't
fun
been
thing.
a cold brew coffee dude, but I might be now because
Yeah.
this is really good.
Mhm.
Anyways, you want to switch over to maybe?
Yeah, you got a list of things there, and I can talk about some of them, but I think this is mostly you.
Okay. Well, one thing I've been getting emails from Micromatic about every day.
Micromatic is a manufacturer of draft equipment.
Indeed. What have I been getting emails about every day?
I don't know what
The Cheers Act, baby.
Oh, Cheers Act, yeah. of
Apparently,
course.
it's a big push to get it through, maybe before the election, maybe before the end of the year. I don't know, but I'm getting emails every day from Micromatic. Support the Cheers Act. So the Cheers Act allows federal tax credits for organizations that install new draft line equipment that is more eco-friendly and more modern, because anything more modern is going to be more eco-friendly. Plenty of places have 20-year-old chillers sitting there, super inefficient, but they work.
Right.
So what's my motivation to invest $5,000 in a new chiller when this one works fine? I just pay an extra $25 a month in electricity.
Right.
So the Cheers Act would provide economic incentives for new builds to put in energy efficient equipment, for retrofits in existing locations. And it is something that we talked about with our legislators when we were in Washington. And apparently this is it's time for the rubber to hit the road.
Right on. Right
Because,
on.
yeah.
Who might be against this? I'm just waiting for someone to tell me that this is woke draft equipment.
Yeah, it's woke draft equipment, bro.
All right. No one should be against this. No one should be against
I mean, I guess if you look at it from a larger point of view, taxes are theft. But if you have to pay them,
Right.
then try and get something back out of it.
Yeah. In other parts, in other time frames, this might be seen as a pork project, right? For
Yeah.
a certain industry. But
Sure.
we explained in other episodes how we might be at the lowest level of draft
Lines.
since
20
World
years.
War II. No,
Oh,
since World War
since
II.
World War II. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know how that. Well, okay.
Yeah. So, that's another pendulum swing.
It is.
Before craft beer, a place had 6 draft handles. That was extravagant.
Yeah.
And, we got
Even a craft beer bar that had 15 was like, whoa,
Right,
check this
right.
out.
30, 50, 100.
100.
Yeah. Those were not realistic for a lot of places. 30 can be for some places, but you got to do a lot of volume. So, and it has to be strategic too. You got to have your slower movers, your fast movers,
And you have to have the right styles for each of those.
and you got to clean those lines.
Gotta clean those lines, baby.
Yeah, let's have some other act.
We should pour some coffee out for the lack of line cleaning in the world.
Yeah. So that's what I'll suggest to next time is federal legislation for draft line cleaning,
Ooh.
maintenance. Call it the Draft Act. You got to just come up with the letters.
yeah, I was going with the nice, cool acronym.
Yeah.
We've got a meeting at 11, and it's
Oh.
10:23.
No, we got. Just keep going.
So we had the Cheers Act.
Yeah.
We've got our peer in Minnesota was on a podcast through the Craft Beer Professionals Podcast Network, discussing THC in tap rooms. And one of there were 4 people on the podcast. One was Bob talking about the legislation. One was
Bob Galligan.
an attorney in the cannabis / hemp area, and also an insurance guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was mentioning there is definitely an insurance tax, a cannabis tax on insurance, where you're paying 3 to 4 times as much for coverage when you are including THC beverages. I don't know. I think that's such a new area that
Those costs have to come down because you're insuring a smaller pool.
Well-
and as
yes.
it takes off, that pool
Right.
will get larger.
Another thing is in the insurance business, if it's not excluded, then it's included. So there are many retail liability policies that do not exclude THC and cannabis.
Right.
So it's important to talk to your insurance professional about your policy.
When your policy gets renewed, check for that
when it
language.
changes, all of that. Yeah.
Check for that language. If it's something that you think you might execute in the future, you might want to have,
You can get
some
a
words on it.
rider.
Yeah.
You can just add it on.
or
And
yeah.
what cost that is, I don't know.
I'm sure some agents are just able to line that out and say, oh, no big deal. Some, not all.
We've got a quarterly meeting for the guild coming up on
Yeah.
September 10th.
Yeah.
And I'm inviting one of our local insurance experts to speak to the group a little bit about THC and insurance ramifications, which I think is a useful thing for our members.
Sure.
Oh,
Great.
we've also got Burns Pest Control that's going to talk about brewery pest control challenges and solutions in a broad, not just a buy my shit
Right.
aspect. They're also giving away some Diamondbacks tickets.
Cool.
Yeah, I said prizes. I just made that up out of nowhere, and they called yesterday like, "Hey, we have these tickets." Oh, hello, friend.
Yes. Nice.
That's very kind.
It's like funny when something is suggested and then it gets passed to one
Yeah.
person and then it happens.
It manifested during the meeting exactly when we were talking about it.
That's great. That's
And
great.
then we also have Local First AZ coming to talk about how they can help Arizona businesses not just sell more stuff, but network with other suppliers and businesses that are local to Arizona and live in your community. So we're going to have those speakers at our meeting, not just you and me.
So the way that Local First works
Should be much
is
more
something
popular
that
meeting.
should be folded into what we do, but it takes information from our members to create and support that network. So people have asked about it, but you can't just start from scratch. You have to have people involved. And our board has identified that as a common thing that they would like to see. So we'll see if that takes off. So that's a very prescient piece that we have for
Right.
that meeting. It sounds like we should probably get Bob on the show at some point, and
That sounds like a good
and
idea.
our
Sure.
insurance guy as well. So we just got to schedule these things, and like another piece of technology that guilds use is calendars. If
Oh,
it goes in our
God.
calendar, it is 99.9% going to happen.
I know this is like really amateurish of me, but I put my to-do list in my calendar.
No, it's not.
I just put in like 15 minutes to do this
yeah.
because I'm looking at that calendar all the time.
Yeah. I use a different task list for that, but I understand what you're saying. But I'm just telling, like people get out of their industry to be this sort of freewheeling, I'll just brew what I want, but like
That is
calendars,
not how it works
it's not how it works.
at all.
Calendar. If I say I will be there, send me a calendar, and if I say yes, like unless like my car
Rob, don't kid
blows up,
yourself. You never say yes.
I don't.
They always sit there.
I just sit there. No, but I attend them.
But you do. Yes.
Yeah. So to me, because it goes right in my calendar. Like you can set it where it won't go in your calendar unless you agree to it, but pretty much it goes in my calendar. The only time I manage that is if two people and I get a conflict or whatever. But and then I just give it to you.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm sorry, off track again.
Yeah.
Episodes.
We also have Mitch Steele and Dave Infante on the most recent Vine Pair talking about AB, Budweiser, InBev, all of the different.
Right. Did you talk about
different ways
Pacific
that-
Crest?
He talked about so many things. I only got halfway through on the way here, so I haven't heard the whole thing, but it was already super interesting. So that's the Vine Pair podcast with Mitch Steele and Dave Infante. Tap lines.
I have a pet peeve.
Oh, yeah?
There are people who, as soon as they see that it's a byline from Vine Pair, they're like, "What does wine have to say about beer?" And like, they have really good writers.
Oh,
Like,
for
they're-
sure. Dave Infante is amazing.
But people
He's a god to
immediately think that somehow that it's a wine-based take on beer, and it's completely not true. Like,
Right.
I don't know I only see Vine Pair stuff about beer. I have no idea about the other side of what they write about. Maybe they don't even write about it anymore. Maybe it's just a name.
So so Tap Lines is their podcast that's about beer hosted by Dave Infante.
Right. I've heard some great stories from Mitch. He also has his. I hope I'm not saying something out of turn here. Hope his mom is still doing well. She lived in a retirement home in Oro Valley. One of the properties, but not the property where the brewery is. One of those kind of things where the ranch hand is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out here once
Ranch
in a while.
House, yeah.
Oh, it's ranch hand, ranch house.
Ranch Hand is in Eloy. Ranch House is in Oro Valley. And they're completely separate.
The one that's on the property.
Ranch House, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Anyway, he's has some great stories about sensory and smoked beers and people freaking out because they somehow think they lost the smoke. In their
falling out.
right,
Yeah.
and it didn't. It's just that the more you consume, the more attenuated you become, and you don't taste anymore.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that story's in there and we can follow up on that because
Yeah.
he's a super smart guy and I'd love to get him out here for stuff, but I don't know. Is he? He's doing some things. New Realm, right in Georgia,
That's right.
multiple locations.
One location right now.
No, I think he's got.
Multiple locations. Yes. I know.
Cool.
Yeah. So they talk about that, his favorite beer bar, all kinds of stuff.
I've been. I've got Arizona Agenda, and I've got a whole slate of beer podcasts, and I listened to the show here from KJZZ to get up on political stuff. I've kind of taken a week off or so, 2 weeks maybe, and I've just been listening to Geddy Lee's autobiography, My Effin' Life, and I don't know what the takeaway for beer is. It's just a good story about
Cool.
somebody who's gone through all kinds of changes in their career, and I don't know. It's really entertaining. He does voices. His background is a Polish Jew, and his mother and father went through the Holocaust, but he imitates their voices. He speaks a lot of Yiddish, which his name is
Interesting.
his full name. I don't know the Polish, but his name, they named him Gary, but his mom would call him Geddy. So
Geddy.
his friends called him Geddy,
Yeah.
Geddy. So
There you go.
anyway,
Okay.
the reason I'm doing this is I have a lot of Audible book credits, and I haven't really been up on my Audible books. I'm trying to go
I
through
canceled
those.
mine a couple weeks ago because I just don't listen to them.
I get free from American Express, so I get like credits every month.
Yeah.
So like I don't know like what American Express is trying to do. Like you're not smart enough, Rob.
They're pushing you into.
Read some more books, dude.
So we did have a board meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
We talked about committees. So we have a membership committee that our board of directors is going to be reaching out to establish a membership committee and have a phone list to call people about stuff. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
And a technical committee that has had various ups and downs throughout the guild's history, being very strong for a few years and then not existing, and then a couple of years ago coming back again and doing some things. We do have some of our members who want very much to have that going again. So trying to get them in the same room and putting together an idea that they can run with and we don't have to manage, because I don't have time to manage that. I can't wrangle all of these people.
Right. We can do any of those things, but when we start to do those things, we do them in the context of being leaders of a organization.
Facilitators,
Right.
not
Well, no, I mean, if in the absence of their wishes and their desires being expressed by them and executed by them with our support, if we are just in charge of keeping things like that going, it's going to look a lot like what we want or what we can accomplish in a limited time. And that's
And-
not the point
yeah.
of that.
correct. So we have some committees. If you are an Arizona Craft Brewers Guild member, please reach out and let us know if there's a committee you'd like to be part of.
Right. I would even suggest if you have brewing knowledge and you can make a convincing case that you can lead a curriculum for our brewers, I would like to talk to you.
For sure.
You don't have to be in the industry currently.
Right.
We could leverage if you're teaching at the university level on fermentation sciences, or if you used to work at a brewery and you just want to dip your toe back in and rekindle some relationships and all that other thing, we're here to say you might be a part of it.
That's right.
You seem skeptical on that.
No, that's not it. I'm just looking
Yeah,
at
we're
the
pressed
clock.
for time.
And
we're
I
actually
want to get through the Arizona Craft Beer Awards talk. So we have 220 entries.
right.
And we had a judges meeting yesterday where everyone came together at Phantom Fox and had some beers and talked beer and talked about life, and that was nice.
Yes, it was.
We have sponsorship options available.
Mm-hmm.
Just hit up info@craftbeeraz.com if you'd like to sponsor a category. Like, I want to be the person that sponsors the IPA category.
Right.
Let us know. Or stouts, or if you're a fan of Belgians or whatever. You have a fruit company and you
Right.
want to be a sponsor of the fruit
Right.
category.
There are categories that might make sense if you're in the industry. There are categories that might, like, I don't know, I'm just an insurance guy. Like,
Yeah.
what we can help you with that, and there are prices on there, and we can help you with that.
Yep.
As well. It's just a gauge to keep things relative. We are here to wheel and deal. And
Go to chooseazbrews.com and link over to the Arizona Craft Beer Awards page, and there's a sponsorship options button.
Right.
Or
If
there
you're-
will be in about 5 minutes.
If you're a fruit puree company and,
That's right.
and you say we want to sponsor all the fruit things, but we're not ready to pay all that money. But if you say, but we'll guarantee the winner will get free fruit puree for a year, then who are we to argue about that? You'll argue about
I'm someone that
that. You know what I'm saying.
I
right?
know what you're saying for sure. That's a great prize to be part of that package.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or you could also give us cash and free fruit. I can't say fruit puree.
It can be tricky. It's true. All right, we got to wrap this up and get out of here.
It's
I have
close
to
by.
I have to put that thing on the website now.
Oh, well, it's not going out immediately. It's not a live show, Andrew.
Well, I'll forget if I don't put it in my calendar.
Okay. Well, do we want to explain where we're going?
Yeah, get to it. Okay, our good friend Johan is the
That's
Phoenix
not where we're going, is
Magazine person, yes, who runs the Arizona Craft Beer Awards Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also a very involved home brewer.
That's later. Our first meeting is.
What?
You're talking about. Our first meeting is at 11.
Oh my God. First, we're going to. Okay, well, we have that meeting later.
Yeah. We have a site visit to where the festival is going to be for the Arizona Craft Brew Awards.
With the Tempe Special Events Committee.
Right.
So there will be 10 people from the city of
Right.
Tempe, Rob, Andrew, and Johan to walk the space and get approval and talk about things that Tempe wants
Right.
to see as far as traffic control.
I'm
crowd control.
gonna put Johan in edge and go. So Johan, where is the stripper pole going?
I'm sure he'll love that. You know how he is. But right now we're going to visit one of the newest breweries in Arizona, Starfire Brewing Company at the Tempe Friendship Village, which is a retirement community. They built a new building with a super cool rooftop restaurant and bar and brewery.
Right. And we're going to check it out because I may live there someday.
I may live there someday soon. I don't know.
Right.
I might be able to get my aunt to move in
I'm
there.
going to get my parents there, you, me.
It's going to be amazing.
Right. And
Woo!
broadcasting live from the rooftop of Friendship Village.
Starfire Brewery. So we're going to go check it out and have a meeting with them and talk to their director of operations and the general manager and all the people about the guild and about what they're doing and
I'm going to go coffee IPA, beverage of the future.
get it. All right. Thanks for listening. Remember,
Sometimes the beer finds you.
sometimes the beer finds you even at a coffee shop.
And this is not a beer podcast. This is a podcast about beer.
Thank goodness Rob's here. On that. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't know why I slammed my coffee.
Great job.